Hello, and welcome to the WA Football Commission Northern Conference Bouncedown for Team Managers. Today's session is designed to provide team managers with the information they need for the upcoming season, whether you're brand new to the role or come with years of experience. This information is for the Northern Conference, which includes competitions in the Claremont, Subiaco and West Perth districts. The WA Football Commission has a number of staff members available to assist our clubs. Our staff include the Community Development Manager, Andrew, our competitions team leader, Kathy, competition administrators, Danny and Carly, our coach coordinator, Tim, and our district development officers, Brodie in Subiaco, Sam in Claremont, and Chris in West Perth. The team manager is a vitally important role as you are the primary point of contact for pretty much everybody for your team. You're responsible for ensuring the welfare of umpires on game day, dealing with any off-field matters, arranging volunteers for game day, providing admin support so your coach can focus on player development, as well as managing player welfare issues. On behalf of the WA Football Commission and your clubs, we thank you for taking on this essential role for your team. Let's begin with some of our rules and regulations. Each year, the WA Football Commission releases a document that contains all the rules, regulations and policies that govern our competitions. This document can be found on the Kia Club Hub website or by downloading and clicking the handout icon on the left. This document is an essential item for all team managers and you should keep this document in an easy to find location so you're able to answer any questions from players, parents or your coach. Some of our key policies that you should familiarise yourself with are the member protection, communication, equal opportunity, drugs and alcohol, weather, protective equipment, vilification and match operation policies. By reading through these policies, you'll be able to confidently answer questions like, do we still play in thunder and lightning? What happens if someone is vilified on the field or makes inappropriate comments on social media? How many games do I have to play in to qualify for finals? While we won't go through all these policies today, please take the time to read them prior to round one. One of the most important parts of the rules and regulations document is the section on the spirit of junior football. This section outlines that every participant needs to understand that junior football in Western Australia is delivered to the community with the spirit of game in mind. The spirit of junior football is designed to maximise the enjoyment and development of junior footballers by providing our kids with a game environment that is safe, fun and fair. We ensure the spirit of junior football is obtained by upholding, promoting and protecting the rules, laws, codes and policies of the game. Above all, everybody involved in junior football must not engage in conduct which is unbecoming or likely to prejudice the interests or reputations of junior football or bring the game of football into disrepute. Encompassing the spirit of junior football is our equal opportunity policy. Under this policy, the coach is required to ensure all players, regardless of their age, size, gender, ability, or the competition they are playing in, are given an equal opportunity to play in a variety of positions on the field. All players must also play at least half of a game each week. This part of the equal opportunity policy is monitored by teams utilising a player rotation app. Each week, you will need to assign a volunteer from within your team to operate the Interchange app that records when players are on the field and when they are on the bench. We have two apps that can be used, Interchange AFL or Interchange by Shedworks. Both are extremely user-friendly and we can also provide how-to guides if needed. Another important policy you should familiarise yourself with is the stretcher policy. Unfortunately, there are times within our game where players can be injured and a stretcher is needed. When a player is injured, it can be a stressful time, so by understanding this policy, you can help keep your players and families calm. Most importantly, when a player is injured, only authorised persons are permitted to enter the field of play to assist the player. This means only the first aider, runner, or players already on the field of play can approach the injured player. Please ensure your families know that they are not able to run on the field to assist their child. If a player is removed from the field of play by a stretcher, then they will not be able to take any further part in the game. It's important to note that if a player is assisted from the field in any other way, they are not considered to have been stretchered off and may return to play only if the first aider clears them to return. As you can see at the bottom of that slide, you can see two examples of when a player can return and when a player cannot return to the field of play. The WA Football Commission understands that due to the nature of our sport, parents and players may want to take certain safety measures to ensure they are protected while participating in training or matches. In doing this, we must ensure that any protective equipment is suitable for football and that the safety of all participants is considered. Some items do not require any approval, such as mouthguards. In fact, we strongly recommend every player wears a mouthguard at training and during matches. Some items will not be permitted to be worn, such as plaster casts or jewellery. The only exception to this is a medic alert bracelet, which must be taped and marked with medic. The list of protective equipment items is long and vast. Some of the most common items that players request to wear are helmets, eyewear, diabetic pumps and monitors, shin guards, kidney guards, and braces. The application for approval to wear these items is quick and easy. If you have a player who is seeking permission to wear any protective items, please speak to your club registrar who will submit the form on the player's behalf. In 2021, we have updated the requirement to request permission for compression undergarments. If a player wishes to wear compression garments in black, white, or beige, then they don't need to seek permission from the WA Football Commission. If their undergarments are any other colour though, they will still need to apply. We understand that our younger players can find it extremely chilly during winter, but for safety reasons, it's important to note that hoodies or jumpers are not permitted to be worn during games. Changes to the 2021 season. The rules of our game are ever evolving, and in 2021, junior community football will adopt the same rules as per the AFL with some modifications. These rules include standing on the mark, protected space for kick-ins, and waiting for the flags. Please take the time to read these updates. Please be aware that there are some changes to game day practices due to the ongoing COVID-19 situation. At this point of the season, half-time food is permitted, but must be in line with the WA government guidelines on food handling. Water runners are not permitted in season 2021, and players need to bring their own water bottles. Encourage good hydration before and after the game, as well as during breaks and interchange during the game. Each team will also need to abide by the Safe WA protocols, such as signing in using a QR code or manual sign-in sheet. Please speak to your club for more information. Concussion. At this stage, the AFL has not yet released the community guidelines for an updated concussion policy. This information will be sent out to all clubs prior to the season beginning. In the meantime, clubs must treat concussion and all injuries with the utmost importance to ensure player well-being is at the forefront of any decisions whether the player should return to train and or play. Please remember that the first aider has the final say as to whether a player can return to the field. When in doubt, sit them out. Supporting umpires. Umpires play a key role in the successful delivery of community football. All team players, officials, parents and spectators are expected to adhere to a zero-tolerance stance against any form of umpire or official abuse, verbal dissent, intimidation or disputing of decisions. Just like players, our umpires are also learning and need our full support. Only the team captain or manager may approach an umpire during breaks in the match. They may not question decisions, interpretations, or question the free kick count. By supporting our umpires, you play a vital role in developing the highest quality of umpires for our game. Just like supporting our district umpires, all participants are also required to support our parent umpires. In 2021, the Parent Umpire Program will be run in the following competitions: Year 3 competitions across all districts, Year 4 competitions in West Perth, and the Year 3 female competition in Metro North. As a team manager, you'll need to support the parent umpires to fulfil their role. Each team must provide one umpire for each game. The game cannot start without at least one qualified parent umpire present, and if the opposing team does not provide an umpire, please advise your club. If you have any queries regarding the Parent Umpire Program, please contact Carly. If you do have any feedback for our umpires, this should be given to your club president, who will pass the information on to our district umpire managers and the WAFC competition team staff. Please note that only constructive and non-emotional feedback will be accepted. Modified season information. It's important to note that in the modified age groups, there is no maximum or minimum number of players required. It means that there's no forfeits in Year 3 to 6. So if you turn up with a small amount of players, put the even up rule in place and give everyone a go. Even up rule. Game day player even up rules are enforced in all junior and youth football matches controlled by the WAFC. The even up rule is in place to ensure both teams have equal numbers on the field while maximising participants' playing time, and is to be applied to all matches, including finals. The even up rule applies when one or both teams have less than the maximum number of players for the competition. If a team cannot field the maximum number of players for that competition, the team with the greater number of players must offer additional players to the lesser numbered team until team numbers comprise the maximum numbers of players are even or differ by only one. It's a complicated way of saying that the teams must be even on the field. Players must be rotated so that no single player plays more than 1 quarter per match for the opposition team. If you do have a player who is playing for the opposition, they just need to turn their jumper inside out so that they can be easily identified. If you are in a situation where the even up rule is being put in place, or a team has no bench and they have a player that is injured, the opposing team must even up immediately. This means that you need to pull the player that is closest to you off the field so that the teams remain even. Please refer to your relevant age group rules on tackling. A reminder that the tackler must have duty of care in their technique. We want everybody to go home uninjured. Each year we have numerous questions regarding the rules surrounding players moving in teams. Please be aware that the following applies. Players cannot change teams after round 1. This means that if your club has 2 teams in one age group, players cannot move between these 2 teams. Players may be requested to play up in an older age group team. This is permitted, however, they must be added to the team sheet for the older age group. Just like in their own age group, players may only play for one team in the older age bracket, even if a club has multiple teams in that older age group. If a player plays up multiple times, on the 5th occasion, the player must stay with the older age group and is no longer permitted to return to their correct age group. Notification should be given to the WAFC prior to the player playing their 5th game. The all-important season dates. Fixtures for the first 5 rounds will be live on Friday, the 23rd of April. Only the first 5 rounds are released, as the competitions team will regrade over the June long weekend if required. Following our return, all remaining fixtures for the season will be available. Round 1 begins on the weekend of Friday the 30th of April to Sunday the 2nd of May. All age groups will break for the June long weekend from the 4th to the 6th of June, as well as the July school holidays, the 2nd to the 15th of July. During the season, we'll also have some special rounds. Round 3 is Umpire Appreciation Round, where we acknowledge the vital roles umpires play in our game. Round 8 is Soccer to Sarcoma Round, where we raise awareness and much needed funds for an important cause by wearing odd socks. Round 9 is our NAIDOC District Dreaming Round, which is a celebration of Indigenous culture and an acknowledgement of the contributions from both Aboriginal and non-Aboriginal Australians to our great game. Round 12 is our Thank a Volunteer Round, where we celebrate all the volunteers who contribute to our kids being able to play the game they love. Pre-game procedures. All teams must have team sheets prior to the game beginning. Each club has a slightly different protocol, with some managers printing their own team sheet while others collect from their club. Speak to your club registrar to find out how your club arranges team sheets. It is the team manager's responsibility to ensure that the team sheet accurately reflects all players and team officials who took part on the day. For new managers, please ensure your team sheet lists all players who took part in the game by ticking their name. Ensure each player has the correct jumper number next to their name. Any players who do not play have a line through their name. If you have the even up rule enforced, please list the opposition player on your team sheet with the quarter that they played for your team. Ensure your team officials are listed, and ensure the umpire lists the score on the bottom of your team sheet and signs before you leave the venue. As previously mentioned, you will need a volunteer to run an interchange app. Please note that this is mandatory for all teams across all year groups. At the end of your match, please send your interchange report to your club registrar, who will then submit your club's interchange reports to the Metro North competitions team. Before your game, please ensure you introduce yourself to the opposition manager and umpires. Familiarise yourself with the venue, and if you're the home team manager, you'll need to complete a Marsh Matchday checklist. This can be a paper form or on their app. This checklist is a basic pre-game inspection tool that helps identify any safety concerns and records any action you have taken to rectify those concerns. So what exactly are you looking for? Extreme weather. For example, if there's been lightning, if it's really hot, if there's rain, lack of visibility, all those sorts of things. Your playing surface. Are there any holes? Are there sticks on the field? Is there rubbish? First aid. Do you have a stretcher available at the ground? Do you have your first aid kit? Is there ice available? Hazards. Are there any hazards on or near the pathways, the exits, or the change rooms? Any other factors such as sun protection, spectator behaviour, signs, those sorts of things. So when should the checklist be completed? You should complete the checklist before the first match of the day. If conditions change, the checklist should be reviewed again, even if the checklist has been completed earlier. This means that if your oval has gone from a modified size oval to an open size football oval, then you must do the match day checklist again. Game day procedures. On game days, the team manager is responsible for managing the team, volunteers, and parent group behaviour. In the event of any conflict issues, taking prompt action immediately will help your team resolve a situation before it escalates. If you have any issues, please speak with your club president. Match day volunteers. There are a maximum of 5 people permitted in the coach's box. These are limited to the head coach, an assistant coach/runner, a first aider, and the team manager. Please note that where the assistant coach is unable to perform the role of team runner, then an additional volunteer may be appointed to perform the duties of runner, but this role must not carry out the duties of a second assistant coach. The timekeeper area is found between the 2 coaches' boxes. In this area, the timekeeper and scorer and interchange steward are permitted to sit. The interchange steward may leave the timekeeper area and approach the coach's box so he can update the coach of player rotations needed. The team manager is also permitted inside both the coach's box and the timekeeper area. Please note that in Year 3 mixed and Year 3-4 female competitions, no runners are permitted as the coach is allowed on the field. Please remind your coaches that when they are on the field, they should not have any items in their hands. Home team responsibilities. Please ensure you provide at least 2 copies of the completed team sheet and that they are given to the umpires prior to the commencement of the game. Provide the match ball to the umpires and provide 2 scorecards, one to your goal umpire and one to an independent scorer. Please note that at each break, the goal umpires and independent scorer should confer with each other and make sure that their scores match. If you are the away team, your responsibilities are to provide at least 2 copies of the completed team sheet to the umpire, have a backup ball just in case it's required, and provide 1 scorecard to your goal umpire. Please make sure you sign the ground inspection checklist completed by the home team manager. Here you'll see a diagram of how your oval should be set up for game day. You will notice that there are no spectators permitted between the 2 coaches' boxes, allowing the interchange area to be free and clear. We also ask that spectators sit behind the spectator line and allow plenty of space behind the goals. Post-game procedures. Seek out your umpire and receive your team sheet back and the match football. Make sure that your team sheet accurately reflects your players that have played. Please ensure your scores are entered on your team sheet and then entered into Sports TG. Some clubs have team managers do this, while others have their club registrars do this. Please refer to your club for how they choose to do this protocol. Please do not mercify the scores as per policy 10E. We will do this at the WA Football Commission competitions team level. If you are in modified rules age groups, there will be no scores or ladders published. Please send your interchange report to your club register, who will submit this to the Metro North competitions team. A conflict resolution framework is available for everyone to utilise in order to effectively escalate matchday issues. This takes the pressure off you as a volunteer and ensures consistency with all potential disputes. This framework can be found on the next slide. Please record any incident of poor behaviour or sportsmanship on your team sheet and notify your club. As mentioned, this is our framework. If you have an incident that occurs that is a non-tribunal incident, please tell your club president or relevant committee member, who will then speak to the other club president. The 2 club presidents will work together to try and rectify the issue. The 2 clubs will then notify the WA Football Commission competitions team that either the resolution has been satisfactorily resolved or that a complaint will be lodged and that they require mediation between the 2 clubs. Your club will then advise you of the outcome. Thank you for volunteering as a team manager for season 2021. Available to download under the handout section on the left is the frequently asked questions document, a copy of this Bouncedown presentation, the 2021 Junior Football Rules and Regulations. Should you have any further queries, please contact your club registrar. Please do not close this window as you will be redirected to a short assessment that will then finalise this Bouncedown presentation. Thank you for your time today.